It was late January when police investigating an alleged serial killer began removing planters from this home here in Leaside on Mallory Crescent. Well, today, Toronto Police homicide detectives confirming they have found the remains of another person from those planters removed from this property. And they've laid an 8th first-degree murder charge against alleged killer Bruce McArthur.
I can now report that the remains have been identified as Kirushna Kumar Kanagaratnam. Mr. Kanagaratnam arrived in Canada in 2010 from Sri Lanka and lived in the Scarborough area of Toronto. He was not on file as missing, and we have no prior evidence which would link him to the gay village. We believe that Mr. Kanagaratnam was murdered between the time period of September 3rd to December 14th, 2015.
Kanagaratnam would have been 37 at the time police believe he was killed, allegedly by McArthur, who before today was already facing charges for allegedly murdering Salim Ehsan, Andrew Kinsman, Majid Kahan, Dean Lissawick, Shrush Mahmoudi, Skandaraj Navaratham, and Abdul Basir Faizi. The 37-year-old was Tamil, and he joins Navaratham as the second alleged Sri Lankan victim, now part of the growing list of men. As mentioned, detectives don't believe he had direct ties to Toronto's LGBTQ community, nor was he known to frequent the shelter system like Dean Lissawick, and police admit that changes the dynamic of their investigation.
You've got members of the LGBTQ community involved in this. We have people who frequented the shelters involved, and now a completely different individual. How much larger of a net now does your investigation need to toss over this?
Well, we're still working through any outstanding missing persons occurrence in Toronto. We're still working through quite a few cold cases, murder cases from Toronto. But obviously, you're right. This does create basically a wide open net.
It could be very wide. There's no 100% kind of way of profiling any serial killer with, an outcome that is guaranteed.
Is it plausible that there is another burial site, in your opinion?
Oh, it's very possible. Yes. It's statistically, again, likely.
Homicide detectives say they have unearthed the skeletal remains of all of the victims thus far, except for Majid Kahan, whose body has yet to be found. Police say they will be conducting multiple new search warrants in the spring once the condition changes and the ground softens. I'm Adrian Gobriel for City News. It was called a startling move by Toronto police working on the Bruce McArthur investigation, releasing the photo of a dead man. Well, that photo of John Doe now has a name and identity. As we told you earlier on City News, police confirm it is Kirushna Kumar Kanagaratnam, a Tamil man they believe is yet another South Asian victim allegedly killed by Bruce McArthur.
We're still dealing with the family and getting as much information as we can from them. The family, the direct family, is not in Canada. And we've had to utilize a Tamil-speaking officer to get some information. We're still working on that. So we're getting more and more into the background of how long he's been missing and what their reaction was to that.
Police say Kanagaratnam came to Canada from Sri Lanka in 2010. Part of that country's Tamil community, homicide detectives believe he was killed in December of 2015 and would have been 37 at the time of his death. However, authorities say they have no record of him reported as missing here in Toronto. They wouldn't comment on if he was reported missing by anyone overseas, but did add that an international agency helped identify him. Police now allege McArthur killed at least 8 different men. Kanagaratnam joined Navaratham as the second Sri Lankan man allegedly murdered by McArthur.
You hear another victim, another South Asian victim. What is the community going through when they hear this yet again today?
We already had a number of calls this morning when the name went out around another Sri Lankan, including politicians calling and saying this is not great, and of course we were anticipating a name coming forward, but we didn't realize what ethnic background or who he was. If you're a refugee to the country, and we keep advocating for equitable rights for individuals, and how do we, embrace them in our system and care for them? How are all these systems working together to protect these individuals who flee their countries looking for safety, and yet their safety is not guaranteed in this country that says it's a safe country?
The 37-year-old's remains were found in planters removed here from this Leaside home on Mallory Crescent, though they say he wasn't part of Toronto's LGBTQ community. They also say that he wasn't known to frequent shelters, similar to alleged victim Dean Lissowick, and police admit this latest victim adds a whole different layer of complexity to their investigation.